Hey, okay, I don't cover platforms on this channel because someone asked me to or because there's a deal involved. I cover them because I've been running them myself and I have something concrete to say about what I found. That's been the standard I hold myself to for a few years now, and honestly, it's the only approach that makes any sense in a space where bad information costs people real funds. And the specific corner of this space I've been putting the most serious time into lately is mining infrastructure, because I think the technology there has crossed a threshold that most people in this community haven't quite registered yet. So this platform that I've got open right now, I didn't decide to cover it on a whim. I've been running it properly session after session for the past couple of weeks, and I now have enough firsthand experience with it to give you something actually useful. And then before we're done, I want to talk about something I think is critical right now: how to stay safe in this environment. All right, let's get moving.
So before I start clicking anywhere, one thing I want to establish up front. This platform doesn't distinguish between devices: phone, tablet, desktop. It runs the same way across all of them without any drop-in functionality. And that actually matters more than it sounds, because it tells you something about the level of attention that went into building this thing. Okay, so first thing I'm doing is selecting a token, and I want to take a second on this. It's built on multi-chain technology, which means I'm sitting here right now looking at 14 different assets to work with. That's a genuinely substantive range, and it gives me real options depending on what I'm holding at any given point. Okay, then moving over to the cluster power settings. So what I'm doing here is setting the operating intensity of the session, how deep the system commits in terms of resources and how hard it pushes throughout the run.
All right, I'm good with these settings. Going ahead and hitting start. And okay, session is live. Console is running right here in front of me. Elapsed time, resource utilization, session progress, and there's a live log feed right here that I keep my eye on throughout because it gives me a real-time window into how the system is actually behaving. So I'm gonna let this go for a few minutes and then I'll take you through the full withdrawal process step by step. So I think that's a solid run. Let me bring this session to a stop now. Okay, pop-up is on screen. Session is complete, and right here is showing me the exact token output from this run. That's the number. That's what this session produced. So to withdraw USDT, the first thing I need to do is enter my receiving address for the token I was running. Let me handle that now. Okay, that's entered. Next is the infrastructure cover. That's essentially the system's charge for the session, calculated from the configuration I had set and the total active duration. Completely transparent model. And this is something I think is worth pointing out: I have full flexibility over which token I use to settle this fee. I can go with whatever's most practical for me at this moment rather than being locked into something. There's also a wallet connect option that handles the whole thing automatically in a single step if I prefer that. But I'm doing this manually so every part of the process is clearly visible. Everything is filled in, tapping continue right here. And now we're just waiting on the payment to process. That should come through shortly. So while that's clearing, let me get into what cloud mining actually is, because people are coming to this from different levels of familiarity, and I'd rather not assume. The model itself is clean and straightforward. Instead of buying physical mining hardware, running it yourself, dealing with electricity costs, heat, maintenance, all of that overhead, you're accessing computing infrastructure that already exists inside a professional data center. You configure your session parameters, the system operates on their end, and the mined output gets routed to your address. No hardware investment, no technical setup, no ongoing costs on your side. You're plugging into an operation that's already running and directing the results toward yourself. And because that looks so accessible from the outside, this space has always been a target for projects that are built to imitate that model without actually delivering it, which is exactly what I want to address. I think the honest version of this conversation acknowledges that experience and time in this industry don't make you bulletproof. Fake projects are convincing when they want to be, and they're not operating anywhere remote or hard to find. And what sustains this as a recurring problem is that this industry simply doesn't slow down long enough to create natural moments of pause. New platforms emerge constantly, narratives shift fast, and that pace generates a kind of background pressure where stopping to scrutinize something carefully can start to feel like a strategic disadvantage. And the principle I operate by without exception every single time: get my funds off the platform and into a wallet where I control the private keys, and do it before I find a reason to wait. Not eventually, not when it's convenient, just make it the default move. That discipline alone has protected me more times than I can accurately account for. Okay, so to bring this to a close, and I want to do it in a way that's actually specific. I run a lot of platforms. Most of them give me something to write home about within the first few sessions. A withdrawal that stalls, a fee structure that doesn't add up, something in the interface that signals the whole thing isn't quite what it presented itself as. With this one, across more than 20 sessions over several weeks, working through essentially the full token list, actively looking for the point where the experience would break down, I didn't find it. Every session ran the way it was supposed to. Every withdrawal cleared cleanly, and the platform behaved with complete consistency from the first run to the most recent one. And for someone whose entire approach is built around skepticism, that consistency is the thing that actually means something. Link is in the description, pinned in the comments as well. All right, guys, thanks for watching.